Growing mango is full of challenges. To be successful as a mango farmer, you should know how to confront them. Knowledge is key. One of these challenges is anthracnose. It is a very widespread disease in humid environments, like here in the tropical parts of Ghana.
3 years ago, in fact, I had a very good fruits that year. But at the end, when it was getting to the full maturity, most of the fruits dropped. But then I didn't know it was anthracnose. I didn't know the strain disease attacked it. But later on, I started to see that it was anthracnose. About 1/3 of the fruits all got spoiled.
You want to learn how to defend your mango trees against anthracnose? This short film will show you how to identify and control the disease. Anthracnose control for mango farmers. This film is divided into 4 parts. The first part shows you how to identify anthracnose. The second part provides background information on the disease. Part 3 covers manual control. Part 4, chemical control. If you are interested in specific topics, just skip directly to your chapter of interest. Identifying anthracnose. Most visible symptoms of anthracnose are black spots on the leaves. At first, they are very small. With time, the spots get bigger and create holes in the leaf. Eventually, parts of the leaf die off. Damage on leaves does not directly affect your mango, but it is the starting point. Anthracnose will spread. It starts from the leaves, spreads over the panicles to the flowers to finally attack the fruits. Treating flashes is highly important to reduce later damage. Disease treatment is about protecting flowers first and fruits second. On the flower, the disease also causes little black spots on the panicle. In a later stage, the flower changes color as it dies. On the fruit, the damage can appear immediately. In this case, the fruit will die soon and drop from the tree. But not all the infected fruits fall. Staying on the tree, the diseased young fruits are another source of infection, a threat to healthy parts of your plant. You have to take measures against it. Background information. Anthracnose is a fungal disease. It thrives well under wet and damp conditions. Diseased immature leaves like this one are a major source of infection. Anthracnose spores are produced here and are then dispersed by rain. Anthracnose spores need wet conditions to germinate. The disease appears immediately after rainfall. The more rain, the more likely you will get anthracnose. Anthracnose causes major damage directly in the field. If the disease is in your plantation, it will destroy a lot of your fruits before they are ready for harvest. But the problem doesn't end here. Anthracnose remains a problem even after harvest. Fruits might show only small black spots when you pluck them from your trees, but the infection continues to grow. The disease becomes a major obstacle if you want to export fresh fruits. Fruit for export are kept in transit for long periods. It can take up to a few weeks until the fruit reaches its final destination. On this journey, the black marks will grow bigger and bigger. Once the fruit arrives at its final destination, it has become unmarketable. Most exporters will not buy fruits with the slightest sign of anthracnose. Manual control. Scout your orchard regularly for any sign of the disease.
It takes at least about every 2 weeks or every week I go there, just trying to see whether there had been anthracnose, mealybugs, or there are any defects in the farm. So I just go and scout the whole farm. I go there purposely just for scouting to see what is going on in the farm.
coastal area, they will meet my joke at Krabi. But I bet to Kiaba within the way we do, but I bet to Kiaba. Come and that's not.
To schedule your control activities, you should have an eye on the weather. Anthracnose is predictable. It will appear after rain falls, and that is the time you have to intensify your control. Your major task is to remove all infected materials, twigs, flowers, and fruits, especially all the small mummified mangoes. The longer it stays on your trees, the wider infection will spread.
We cut out branches which have not bear fruits. Normally, you could see from the leaves that there has developed some holes. There are some patches on the leaves, and even at times some of the branches, the young ones, you see that there are some dryness on the stem. That to tell that it is anthracnose, and those are the ones we look out and then cut them from the trees.
If you are working on a larger plantation, instruct your workers on anthracnose control. Take time to explain how the disease looks like and how to remove affected parts.
Normally, at times, we cut the top to open up the top so that when the sun is shining, it can have full rays throughout the whole tree. At times, too, we cut from the east and the west so that when the sun is moving, that the rays can pass through, and that allows also air to pass through every part of the tree.
Here is an example of a well-pruned canopy. There is a window in the middle allowing sunlight to enter. It has a light structure. Air can easily pass through. Sunlight and fresh air are needed to dry your leaves after rainfall. Remember, the longer your tree stays wet after rain, the higher the chances for anthracnose to spread. Avoid your trees growing too tall. You cannot effectively manage tall trees, leading to infection, raining down from the upper to the lower canopy. Chemical control. Spraying fungicides is an additional protection against anthracnose, but chemicals alone cannot defeat the disease. Fungicide control only works alongside manual control. You need to remove infected material. This is number one priority. Without it, your investment in chemicals is a waste of money. There are two different types of fungicides: contact and systemic. Contact fungicides are often copper-based. They stay on the surface of your tree. Protection works only directly where covered with spray. Rain can wash them off and leave your tree vulnerable for infection. The other type is systemic fungicide. It enters inside your tree and distributes into its different parts: trunk, branches, and leaves. This gives strong protection from within the tree, but also means that fungicides enter into your fruits. Your specific spraying schedule depends on the fungicides you use. Read instructions on your products carefully. To find out what dosage is needed for your specific situation, consult with your neighbors or local agricultural institutions. Here we can just show you a general spraying schedule. This is how you treat anthracnose under usual circumstances. When first flashes appear, use copper. Shortly before flowering, take a systemic. During flowering, you should not apply any fungicide at all, otherwise you damage the flower. After flowering, apply a copper spray. From this time on, you continue to spray about every 3 to 4 weeks, alternating systemic and copper. You should start with a copper fungicide, and 3 to 4 weeks later, you use a systemic spray. Keep up this routine, interchanging systemic and copper every 21 to 28 days. Stop spraying 3 weeks before harvest. Under this spray regime, you would apply 1 copper and 1 systemic spray before flowering, and up to 3 copper and 2 systemic sprays after flowering. Don't use more than 3 systemic sprays in a year. You should rotate not only between contact and systemic, but also within the contact group and within the systemic group. It is important that each type contains different active ingredients. You can get the active ingredient from the label on the product. If you keep applying the same active ingredient, the disease will develop resistance against it. Once this happens, the fungicide has only little effect, and again, you are wasting your money. To know how much fungicides you need to buy, you have to find out how much is needed to cover all the trees on your farm. Here is a good practice to estimate this amount. Mix water with a food colorant. Completely drench the tree from top to bottom. Check how much liquid was needed and use this number to estimate the amount needed for the whole farm. In our case, we needed 5 liters of water to completely cover the tree. There are 200 trees on our farm, which means we would need 1,000 liters to cover the whole farm. On the product we want to use, it is indicated that a 1 kg bag mixes with 200 liters of water. So we need 5 1 kg bags to mix 1,000 liters and get enough fungicides to cover our whole farm. You can make this calculation according to your own situation. Effective spraying needs you to be thorough and systematic. Here you see a common malpractice. The worker does not apply the fungicides well. He rushes the work and misses important parts of the tree. He makes 2 common mistakes. First, he doesn't take time to walk around the tree and leaves out the complete back side. Secondly, he does not cover the canopy well. Leaving part of the tree uncovered is not an option. Anthracnose remains there, and the next rain will distribute it once again all over your tree. For proper disease control, it is important to spray every tree correctly. Start with the inside of the tree, then move to the outside. Spray at the top and work your way down and round the canopy, ensuring all parts are well covered.
Normally, I start from the down part of the stem, upwards. So if I stay here, I will spray at all the branches or the stem. And even before I spray, I look at the direction of the wind. So especially when I make something like this, I see that the wind is going here. So I follow it. Then I'll come and stand here and then spray it, the down part and then the inside. After spraying, then I move to the other side too. Then here too. And then I spray also the inside and then on the stem. Then I also go to the last part. And then here too, I spray the stems and the inside. Then after that, I have to go back to target the leaves and the top of the leaves. So I normally go back. Still, I follow the direction of the wind. So I raise up, the machine, so that it will raise the top. So I divide the plant into 3 equal halves. Then after spraying here and see that it is well sprayed, then I move to the other side.
If you spray like this, your mango trees are well protected. But unfortunately, there is still a troublemaker who can spoil your achievement. Rain washes off the fungicide. If rain occurs shortly after spraying, you need to do the work all over again. Check the weather forecast and avoid spraying when rains are expected within the next 3 days. Conclusion. Let us recap important messages of this film. First, anthracnose spreads with the rain, so intensify your control during rainy season. Second, the disease continues to develop after harvest, which makes it a major obstacle for export. If you plan to export your fruits, you need to be very cautious about anthracnose. Third, there are basically 3 steps involved in your control routine. First step, inspect your orchard regularly. Second step, remove all infected material. Third step, spray alternating contact and systemic fungicides every 3 to 4 weeks. Removing all infected material is your key task. Train your workers so they know what to look for. Last but not least, disease treatment is about protecting flowers first and fruits second. If you follow all these instructions, you will get anthracnose under control. A disease-free plantation means more and better fruits every year, which will also result in less stress and higher income for you. Thank you for watching. In the description of this film, you will find a link to download a fact sheet with all information mentioned here. Goodbye and good luck with your mangoes.